All right. Hello, welcome. Thank you for stopping and taking, like about 10 minutes for me to talk to you about um, how one layer that a lot of customers, when I speak to them about Kubernetes at the edge, etc., are forgetting. So we're talking about resilient edge with Rakuten and Google Distributed Cloud. I'm Chris Hendrich. I'm Associate CTO at SADA. We are an 8-time Google Cloud Partner globally of the year and I work with a lot of customers on their hybrid environment, multi-cloud environment, modern application platform, modern application management. I'm also a Google Cloud Certified Fellow. So for hybrid multi-cloud, there was a Google certification that came out with Anthos, which is the original name of what Google Distributed Cloud is now. And I work a lot also with customers on like the tip of the spear, crazy innovation stuff and implementations of things. And 2019, that was Google Distributed Cloud, formerly known as Anthos. And yeah, just real quick on Google Distributed Cloud, what it is, right? It lets you run your workloads pretty much wherever you want the same way. You have the same layer of orchestration, etc., Kubernetes, and actually Google's Kubernetes engine everywhere. So you run cloud natively, either on the edge or in other clouds. We're focusing here on the edge part or on-premises part, right, where you can run different types of Kubernetes flavors of GKE. So there's GKE connected, GKE software only, and air gapped. Software only is just the software layer that you deploy on your hardware. GDC connected is with Google hardware. So we have a lot of customers that they don't want to be in the hardware business. They want to just have the whole package from Google delivered. And then there's air gap, which is a lot for the very restricted environments where you can't even have a connection to the cloud, but you want your own private kind of GKE cloud, etc., to run native apps everywhere. And then you have on top of that distributed cloud layer, included is what is called GKE Enterprise, like all the tools that help you to actually enable and run this at scale across multiple locations. Because a lot of edge customers that I work with, right, they have hundreds or even thousands of locations, and they want to run it consistently the same wherever they are. So we started, 2019 when Anthos was announced, we already started heavily. We started with first big rack servers that actually we had to buy full flight tickets for and seats at the plane to get them to the different Google events, etc. Got them smaller into gaming rigs, and then all the way to the size of a toaster. And actually now we're even the size of a toast, so to speak. It's just it's like a thick slice of toast that you can run behind a monitor. So we worked always on like being able to support a lot of customers and a lot of different requirements for the edge locations. And then we also looked at a lot of the locations of where would edge compute actually run, right? So we actually then ran it 6,000 feet up on Blue Mountain in Washington State, and in the clouds, literal clouds, and deployed from LA at the convention live, new applications and application updates in real time. And then we also had videos like we call it Moonshot, where we talk about, hey, maybe we can run it on the moon at some point. We're still working on that, so we're not there yet. But so we thought about a lot of those things, and as you can see, there was a lot of like single node of demo environments and pilot environments. But when we then worked with a lot of customers actually on their problems at the edge and building that modern edge solution that then lets them run, close to their data, doing inference at the AI inference at the edge, low latency and not requiring a lot of bandwidth between the cloud for their use cases. There was one big thing that's kind of a lot of even customers didn't think about is like the resiliency. Like they need to be able to tolerate, like if someone trips and unplugs that server, everything is down in the edge location, the store, manufacturing plant, what have you. Also manufacturing customers, a lot of times their assembly lines run 24/7, right? If you have a single node and you need to update it and suddenly you have to reboot and it takes 5 minutes to come back, the assembly line can't just stop for 5 minutes. So those people, they're not a big fan of that. So there were some issues with a single node. That's why also Google Distributed Cloud, the connected comes in a 3-node environment, 3-node architecture, for being able to tolerate some of that stuff. Also, especially in the last couple of years, right, people want to move off of the hypervisors and kind of move quicker to cloud-native ways of running their applications, etc. But of course, they can't just flip a switch and move every application they run into containers, into modern architectures. They don't have the bandwidth. It just is very complicated a lot of times, and a lot of them also they're relying on third-party vendors, like they're using third-party apps and custom, like commercial off-the-shelf software. So they need to be able not just to run containers, but at least for a while also be able to run VMs. And VMs are just very different to containers, right? A lot of times with the OS, etc., they need persistent storage or some persistent storage because a lot of the statefulness, etc., is actually in those images. So now if you have a 3-node Kubernetes cluster, right, you still need the persistent storage solution on there. You also need to be able to do backups, etc. And Kubernetes alone doesn't do this. Like the Kubernetes alone helps you with your control plane, having a resilient control plane. So you can tolerate in a 3-node cluster, for example, with the quorum of Kubernetes, you can tolerate 1 node going down, and your Kubernetes will still run, but the workloads still have an issue there because a lot of the workloads, right? If a VM, for example, is on the node that goes down, it can't easily spin up on another node. You need some storage layer that helps you with that. And for GDC, Rakuten Cloud Native Storage, CNS is kind of the go-to solution for this, right? So with CNS, you have this data management, you have it very easily operations, because we have to think, if we now have this extra solution, right? If you think of it about for another 2,000 stores or something, you multiply that effort that it takes for one store by 2,000. So you want to have it easily deployed, right? One click, it's in the Google Marketplace. You can deploy, you just use it, the same console that you manage your GKE clusters or GDC clusters. You can also now order or set up the Rakuten CNS or procure it, and then use simple commands to deploy it. And then also a lot of the support, at least level 1, level 2 support is done by Google. So it's one throat to choke for all your requirements for this edge solution. And all the updates on that software-defined storage layer is included in the GDC software updates that you have to do. So one vendor that you basically work with, one throat, you don't really, it's kind of a little abstracted from you. That's very easy to operate at scale with a smaller team. And here's like some of the pieces, right? Like I made it, you can run this across as many nodes as you want. The original slide from the Rakuten has actually 6 nodes. I just made it to really the slide for what we usually see with GDC, which is a 3-node cluster where you have, the services for Robin, which is the underlying technology for CNS, running, and then you have the important thing that I was really looking for before we had CNS for GDC was this 3-way replication. Right? You have 3 nodes. Ideally, you want your pod or your VM replicated across all the nodes. That's all done really easily with minimal configuration with Rakuten CNS. So this was a very quick talk because I know you guys have to go somewhere, but it comes down to one sentence that I have seen with a lot of customers that they're not talking or not even remembering when I talk to them. It's like, you can't forget about storage. They think Kubernetes alone can solve all those things. You can't. You need that storage layer to build a true resilient edge platform that you can roll out at scale. If this is of interest to you, I'm happy to talk. I'm staying here. We are, again, like I said before, 8 times Global Partner of the Year for Google Cloud. The Google Cloud Certified Fellows, there's 84 of us in the world. We have 6 of them actually at SADA, so we have a lot of experience with helping customers build that modern edge. And yeah, we're looking forward to partnering with you, and you can visit us at our booth. It's actually just this way. You can't miss it. Big booth, fuchsia and white, and looking forward to talking to you and helping you solve your problems. Thank you.